We are facing a crisis. Our young people are struggling. Rates of depression, anxiety, and even suicide are skyrocketing among teenagers and young adults. This is not a coincidence. The rise of social media, while connecting us in unprecedented ways, has also unleashed a wave of challenges to our mental well-being. We are more connected than ever before, yet many feel increasingly isolated and alone. Social media platforms, while connecting us globally, often distort our perception of reality. We are presented with carefully curated versions of ourselves, airbrushed photos, and highlight reels of the best moments. This constant exposure to perfection can be detrimental to our self-esteem, especially for young people still developing their sense of self.
The comparison game is relentless and unforgiving. We see others' successes, their vacations, their seemingly perfect relationships, and we measure ourselves against these unrealistic standards. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy, envy, and a constant need for validation from others.
To understand the addictive nature of social media, we need to delve into the science of the brain. Every time we receive a notification, a like, or a positive comment, our brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. This dopamine rush creates a feeling of euphoria, reinforcing the behavior that led to it, in this case, checking our phones and engaging with social media.
This cycle of dopamine release and reinforcement is the foundation of addiction. Our brains become wired to seek out those pleasurable hits of dopamine, leading to compulsive checking, endless scrolling, and an inability to put our phones down.
Section 4. A world without guardrails. Unlike other addictive substances like alcohol or gambling, social media exists in a largely unregulated space. There are no age restrictions, no limits on usage, and minimal consequences for excessive engagement.
While some platforms have introduced features to promote digital well-being, these are often ineffective and easily overridden.
This lack of regulation is particularly concerning given the vulnerable nature of young people's developing brains. Adolescence is a critical period for brain development, and excessive social media use during this time can have long-lasting consequences on impulse control, attention span, and emotional regulation. Section 5. The erosion of connection. The irony of social media is that while it promises connection, it often leads to greater disconnection and loneliness. We spend hours scrolling through curated feeds, comparing ourselves to others, and seeking validation through likes and comments, all while neglecting the real human connections right in front of us.
Our relationships suffer when we prioritize online interactions over face-to-face conversations. We become so accustomed to communicating through screens that we lose the ability to read body language, interpret tone, and engage in meaningful dialogue.
The art of conversation is slowly fading, replaced by emojis, memes, and superficial exchanges. This erosion of human connection has profound implications for our mental and emotional well-being. Humans are social creatures, hardwired for connection and belonging. Section 6. Reclaiming our lives. Breaking free from the grip of social media addiction and reclaiming our lives requires conscious effort and a commitment to change.
It's about setting boundaries, prioritizing our well-being, and rediscovering the joys of real-life connections. It's about being present in the moment and appreciating the beauty of the offline world.
Start by setting realistic limits on your social media use. Use app timers, disable notifications, or designate specific times of day for checking your feeds.
Find activities that bring you joy and fulfillment offline, whether it's spending time in nature, pursuing a hobby, or connecting with loved ones. Cultivate mindfulness and be present in the moment.
Instead of constantly documenting your life for social media, savor the experience, engage your senses, and connect with the people around you. Remember that true happiness and fulfillment come from within, not from external validation or the number of likes on a post.
Building meaningful connections takes time and effort. It requires vulnerability, empathy, and a willingness to be fully present with another human being. Put away your phone, engage in meaningful conversations, and nurture the relationships that truly matter.
Remember, the most valuable connections are built on shared experiences, not shared screens.